Hi guys, this isn't going to be a guide about how to be the next Max Verstappen. As you can see, I'm not the fastest guy out there, and if anyone wants to look up my rating, that will back it up. I do feel I can offer some advice to the newcomers to the Simracing community. So here we go, in no particular order, 5 tips to help you get started. This is based around my experience in iRacing, but it can easily be put into all sims. Number 1. Don't get too worked up over wrecks and crashes. But don't get me wrong, we all get frustrated when we get wrecked out of a race we were doing well in, and no matter who you are, it will happen to you, and there will be times that you will be the cause of it. Now when this happens, please don't jump straight on voice chat and shout and swear at the guy. For one, it doesn't change the result, and 2, it's very off-putting to the people that are still racing. Take some time to calm down. Remember, we don't have to pay for the damage, and we can jump into a race soon after. Should you wish to talk to the person involved, do it in private in a constructive way. You'll normally find that people are embarrassed to ruin someone's race as well as their own. Maybe offer to run with them to work on their racecraft in tight racing situations. If you're the person who caused the incident, say sorry. This will go most of the way to calming the incident down straight away. We all make mistakes, and while people will be annoyed, most will understand if you apologise and explain what happened. Maybe you missed your braking marker, caught a wheel on the grass and lost the car. Make sure this is true before saying it. We will check the replays, but by acknowledging what you did wrong, people will generally be more understanding. They know what you're trying to work on and hope that you don't improve.
Number 2, practice. Now we're all guilty of wanting to get racing straight away, but I would always suggest at least 30 minutes of practice before your race, just to get warmed up and sort any potential technical issues out before the race. Believe me, I think you will notice an improvement in your results overall when you're fully warmed up and in the zone before a race starts. Taking this back a bit, don't race before you're ready. If you're new to the game, take time to learn the track you're racing and how the car handles at different stages of the race. If you know the race you're doing is 15 minutes, run the car for 15 minutes minimum without pitting. This will give you an idea of how the grip levels change as the tyres heat up and then wear down. Also, the car might be different on fuel. Like if we've got high fuel, the cars are heavier, braking distances are longer. Lighter fuel could sometimes be a bit more skittish. Shorter breaker distances, bit faster in the straights. Although realistically there's not much change over the short 15-minute sessions. When you start getting onto your sort of 45-minute to an hour sessions, then you start to notice the real tyre degradation and bits and pieces like that. The other tip I have is once you're comfortable getting around the track without going off for a set duration, go running the open practice sessions, especially on iRacing. These are the populated practice sessions and they're perfect for getting to grips with traffic on the track. This makes you adjust your line and get used to having to avoid crashing. It may seem pointless, but these skills you will need to make it through the race. It's no good being able to go quickly on one racing line, but stuck behind a slower car, because if you come off the racing line, you're losing your braking points. Try running a few laps around the outside of every corner, and a few on the inside. Find braking points and parts where an overtake will be possible. There are plenty of people on the practice sessions that once you get racing closely, will happily join you, pit at the same time as you, come out the pits at the same time as you, and get practice in racing. We all need the practice at our racecraft, and it's a bit of fun. So that's my tips for practice. Number 3. Don't skip the lower classes and categories, like the rookies in iRacing, the MX-5s. This is a thing I see far too often. People asking on forums and Facebooks how to get out of rookies, as they want cleaner racing. Now, the license categories don't guarantee cleaner racing. What they do allow is for you to use faster cars, harder cars to drive. If you don't spend the time in the rookies or the D class, getting to grips with racing closely, racing with other people, battling for position, when you get to these harder, faster cars, it's gonna be more difficult to learn. Now, in theory, you could get up to B license in probably about 10-15 races on iRacing, but you won't really learn anything from that unless you are racing at the same time and you're that good that you don't crash, or you're that fast that you're just driving off into the distance. 90% of us won't be either of those. We'll be the ones that bash doors, go off track, do these sort of things. If you do that whilst racing, even if it's for 10th, or it's for a podium, or it's for the win, you'll have fun and you'll be learning at the same time. This is a lot easier to do when the cars are slower, a little bit more stable, everything happens just a little bit easier to catch, whereas if you jump to like the GTEs, they are a lot more difficult to drive. Okay, yes, you've got aero, and yes, you've got bigger tyres and stuff like that, but they're faster, so accidents happen quicker, they're harder to recover from, people change line quicker, everything's easier in the lower categories. I think I took about 2 months to get my D licence, but I was in the thick of every single race. I didn't do the hanging around at the back, starting from the pits thing, which works perfectly fine. And if you're a competent sim racer from other platforms and other sims, by all means, just get your rating up and jump to the category you want to race. I mean, it's not a problem at all. But I think for the absolute beginner in iRacing, stick to the rookies until you're promoted naturally. I don't think speeding up your process is going to help you in the long run.
Number 4. Don't be afraid to ask for help. And the sim racing community is exceptional for the most part, because that 99% of people want everyone to get better and enjoy it. Hell, we all want better and cleaner races, so we should all help each other. What I mean by this is, take iRacing for example, as this is my main sim. There's a forum that's open to all members to use. Take time to have a look around. You'll find car setups, track guides, hardware discussions, everything you need. Most of your questions will be there. If you have a specific problem with a car track combo, or you're struggling with oversteer on a car, find the sub-forum for that one and ask the question. Most people will be all too happy to help you out. If you go in there with an open mind, join in the discussion, say what it is, say that I'm getting oversteer in corner 3, how do I correct that? People will help you out. People are genuinely nice in the sim racing community. It's different from a lot of other communities out there where people are very secretive on what they do, don't want to help anyone. Everyone I've come across so far has been brilliant. I mean, you get the odd one, it is the internet after all, so there's always going to be the odd one that's nasty or doesn't want to help or likes to keep their answers to themselves. But 99% of people are excellent. There's a lot of groups on Facebook. I'm in a very good one, Community Sim Racing. They run a lot on Xbox and PC and PlayStation 4 and bits like that. They're always willing to help if you've got an issue with anything, from setting up a session to how to drive incredibly fast around the Nordschleife. There's people on there that will help you. There's loads out there, hundreds, I'm not going to list them all. I'm a member of a lot of them. And yeah, people are generally very, very helpful. So if you're struggling with any aspect, ask for help. Hey, ask in the comments here. I'm by no way means fast, but if I can help you out, I will. And finally, number 5. And I think this is the most important one of the lot. Have fun. Now, enjoy your racing. It doesn't matter if you like simulated track days around the Nordschleife or F1 racing on F1 2019. If you're enjoying it, you'll do it more often and you'll get better at it. Nobody likes to grind through something they're not enjoying. We've all been there. For me, it was GTE racing on iRacing. Kept trying it, couldn't get on with it. Something just wouldn't click with me in the car. I stopped enjoying it, then I wouldn't practice properly. This made it less enjoyable, made my racing worse. In the end, I just stepped away from it. I looked for a different series. I jumped around quite a few different ones, looking for something that took my fancy. Quite enjoyed the Skippies, quite enjoyed Spec Racer Fords, and then I jumped into the Michelin Pilot Challenge in the Audi TCR. This is before it went multi-class. I'm still racing it now. I love the car and the racing it provides. It's door to door, it's close, it's good action, and the guys that run it are generally some of the cleanest guys I've come across. They don't try and knock you. Not that anyone in iRacing tried to knock you off, but they do. The racing's close and it's clean. There's the odd accident, it happens, but everyone apologises, we move on, we race again the next night. It was quite a small group when I started on it, and it's a bit more popular now that you've got all the GT4 cars in it, but I generally raced against the same sort of people every week. This meant I knew roughly what most people would drive like and how they defended, this made it great fun for the racing. Now, I'm not the fastest guy, I was second split, occasionally top split on a when there was only one split, but you know, I class that as top split. And then, my enjoyment went through the roof, which made my driving better. My I rating went up, and things like that. I just got better because I was enjoying driving it. Now, that's where you've got to be. You've got to be enjoying what you do. Don't do this for the sake of, I want to be the fastest, I want to be the best. Generally, unless you have got alien abilities, you probably won't be the fastest and the best. You'll be very, very competent with a lot of practice. You probably race with the best people, and you will beat them on times. There's no one stopping you doing that. But if you're not having fun while you're trying to get there, you won't get there. You'll give it up. You'll stop. And I think if you try and enjoy everything you do while you're racing, you will be a better racer by the end of it. Well, that wraps up my 5 tips for beginning in sim racing. If you enjoyed the content, you'd like to see more of it, I've got some reviews planned, bits and pieces on some of my gear. It's quite low end, so it's like entry level stuff for people to look at. If you hit subscribe, ding the bell, give me a like, a comment, anything really, and I'll speak to you all soon.